Hey guys, welcome to Motor 69 with me Manjunath. So today in front of us we have a bike, Honda Unicorn. It is now 160cc. The previous generation was 150cc. Now it is coming in 160cc. And do you think it can still fare in this competition of 160cc like you have Apache, you have NS? So still people are loving to purchase Unicorn 160 more than these bikes. So why is that? What's the reason behind it? We'll know everything in this video. And before that, if you haven't subscribed our channel yet, please do feel to subscribe our channel and pressing the bell button icon so that you don't miss any of the biking related updates from us. So let us begin the video without any delay. Coming to the design part of the vehicle, design parts, Shine is ever been a very simplistic vehicle. Front, you can see the huge headlamp setup that's been given over there and a chrome treatment on the visor. So the visor is also very simple into the Honda badging. So overall, the headlamp unit looks pretty large, okay, and the bulb provided is halogen. It's not an LED setup, and LED is not so good compared to the halogen setups. And from the side of the bike looks pretty ordinary. It doesn't look somewhat a racy bike or something like that's been provided on here. It's completely basic bike, and I think the one of the main USPs of selling this bike in India is because of this reason. And it's also one of the popular family bike also. So you can observe there's a huge petrol tank, and there's a carving over there and a Honda emblem on the petrol tank, which looks, I think, according to the color scheme, is premium. And there is a chrome treated part with monoshock suspension and a grille below. And one thing to be noticed is the very minimal plastic parts or fiber parts that have been used in the bike, but still the bike has been covered very excellently. And you can see there is a foot peg. The hinge is a little tight. Over the usage it gets loosened, but it is very sturdy, I guess. And one of the point where this loses the Unicorn loses the point is this sari guard. So it's just simply made of the metal rods, and they could have even given the plastic one that's coming in SP125. I don't know why they gave it. It looks pretty simple and ordinary. There's a Unicorn badging over there on the rear side of the bike, and when we come to the rear side, you see the headlamps, tail lamps, and the tail lamps is very basic actually. This is just carried out from the previous generation. I think all the generations of the Unicorn just carry this kind of tail lamps. It has just got a design in the middle, and although it doesn't been made fancy, but it just looks fine and does the work it requires. And there's the indicators there will also been given. And one thing to be noticed is this muffler. This muffler has got a gray color, matte finish, and they have even provided a small stand over it for the pillion riders to keep their foot. And there's a foot peg that's been provided over there. There are two options for the pillion: either keep on the footrest, or you can even keep on the stand. And next, moving on to the quick specs of the vehicle. So the weight of the vehicle is 140 kg with a seat height of 798 mm, and the ground clearance of the vehicle is 187 mm. So now comparatively, the weight is according to the segment okay, and the seat height is pretty much slightly higher, because the comfortable seat height would be around 780 to 790 mm, but this is slightly 80 mm more, which you feel when you climb on the bike. And you can observe that the seat, it's comfortable and cushiony and slightly step up with the grab handles, a very rigid grab handle in fact to be said. And moving on to the petrol tank of the vehicle, the petrol tank of the vehicle is one of the bulkier element other than the headlamp unit. And here we go, we just open the petrol cap and see whether it's hinged or it's a separate piece. And I guess this is hinged because of the segment. And pretty much, yes, I guess it's right, it's hinged actually. And it's a good thing that they have hinged it, because you just open it and you just close it. It's not so good, but now this system is very cool, I think. And next, moving on to the capacity of the petrol tank, you get 13 liters of petrol tank, and with the mileage of around 45, I think you can travel around 500 to 550 kilometers very easily. So this has got the handlebar, it's chrome treated handlebar, and the handlebar looks sturdy. And the switches quality, I guess, has been improved. And this quality of switches is better compared to other bicycles from the Honda. And this gets a kill switch integrated, but this doesn't get an silent starter, which is also one of the negative side comparing it to the bikes that we are getting today of the Hondas. And moving on to the instrument cluster, the instrument cluster is very simple. They have got an RPM meter, and there's a speedometer and odometer and a trip meter in the between, and fuel gauge in the side. And this trip meter just changes by the button, but it's fully analog. If you just press and hold the button, the dials just redial to 0, and that's how it just works. Yeah, this is how it just changes to 0, and you can set it and travel. And moving on here, there are fuel gauge and all the necessary indicators that are required, but I don't think this is integrated with a side stand alert switch also. And overall, if you speak, the bike is pretty good, but the features are completely basic. Moving on to the engine specifications, so this is a 162.7cc air-cooled engine which produces a power of 12.73 bhp and 14 Nm torque. Now, frankly to speak, this engine is not so powerful compared to its rivals such as Apache or NS160, but you have to look at the purpose for what this bike has been made. I think this bike just really is made for the family purpose bike and a small highway readings, and according to that, the power is sufficient. I think I am saying this for the first time that a 160cc bike, this bike is suitable for city riding. It's also suitable for highway riding, but I guess for the city, it's a perfect blend of power and torque. Engine is smooth and it's vibrationless. I think you won't feel that vibration. So moving on to the brakes and suspension, so this has got a tire size of 80x100 18-inch and rear side 190 18-inch tires, so it gets an alloy wheels. And it coming to the brakes, it has got disc brake of 240mm size and a 130mm drum with a single channel ABS. And this is the only variant in the Unicorn that we find, and this is one of the bikes where there is only just single variant to speak of. And coming to the brakes, so the brakes are pretty good. I think the front disc brake is actually pretty good, and even if you have a drum setup in the rear, you have been provided single channel ABS, so there are no chance of skidding away in the road. And due to the more width tire, I think the grip is also offered more, due to which the braking efficiency is also increased. Moving on to the suspension, you have got the telescopic fork suspension in the front and monoshock suspension in the rear. And I think Unicorn is one of those bikes which has got the monoshock suspension right from the start, and it was one of the first scooters to get the monoshock suspension. And from then, it has been a very comfortable ride on Unicorn, especially the rear monoshock suspension. It just provides so much relief while riding, and there is no back pain seen while riding this bike. And the suspension setup is really good, and it can handle the potholes pretty well. Moving on to the variants, as I mentioned in the previous section, so it has got just one variant with a pricing of 1,39,331 on-road Bangalore price. If you want to check any other price, you can just go and visit an online portal or any other apps to know the prices. And when I checked the price approximately 8 months before, it was like around 1,25,000, and now due to the increase in the taxes, increase in the cost of everything, the bike's cost has just gradually gone from 10 to 14,000 increase. And when you come to the colors of this bike, you get 3 color variants, and the 3 colors have been displayed on the screen. Do comment below which color do you like. Moving on to the overall section of the bike, if I am to speak, so this bike is pretty much simple in design. It's not there's no any racing element that's been present, so it's a proper family bike. And it has got very simple features. Even an aged person can even ride this bike very easily, and the weight of the bike is also proportionate to its segment. And I think if you want a bike which is simple in design, simple in features, you don't really care of the features, but you want just the performance and you want a comfortable ride in the city, I think even with that, if you want a family purpose bike, I think that you can obviously go on the persons who just are in the market to buy the new bikes and that's first bike. I think 160cc, you can opt for Unicorn because it has got the mileage plus that family bike presence plus simplicity, and I think you don't need anything much in the today's scenario because the petrol price is also high, so you have to even think of the mileage. And when you think of the mileage, I think this also gives a pretty much decent mileage of 45-50 kilometers per liter, and in highways it can give up to 55 kilometers per liter, which is a good thing considering the segment. So what do you think of the bike? Please do comment below, and if you haven't subscribed channel, please do consider subscribe channel. With this, I'm going to end this video today. Meet you in the next video. Until then, goodbye.